Hello, this is Mr. Adobe Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to make your YouTube background. Now, I've had a request on my channel, um, excuse me, um, about making a tutorial for a background. He asked me to do it, or she asked me to do it in Photoshop, um, but Mr. Adobe Tutorials is mainly for After Effects. I mean, it does say Adobe Tutorials, but I am mainly doing After Effects. And if you want to leave any suggestions for tutorials, just leave them in this box so that you can uh, send me an idea or a tutorial that you want me to cover. So thanks for this suggestion. The optic ownage. Yeah, I'm going to show how to make your background on YouTube. Um, Bearing in mind that everyone's backgrounds are different. A lot, well, uh, everything that you do is personal to you. So I don't need to copy everything that I do in this video because it should be, your personal background. And remember that people's channels vary. For example, um, we've got the moderator ideas tab here, and if you don't have that, then you're going to need to improvise and change it yourself. And the same with whether you have a channel, um, other people's channels on your account, or the amount of comments on your account. This all varies, okay? So, it's up to you to make it yourself. I'm just going to get you started, and then we can see how the rest is going to go. So, if you go into After Effects, um, what I've done is I've got the outlines for everything on your account, or everything on this account design. Yeah, so if I just bring this in, and this is um, a background from Monkey King 44, my other account. If you notice, it's been sort of slightly put off. That's because when you upload a background, it sort of shoves it over. So I've compensated for that already for you with this example, so you don't need to worry about that. So you can see where each bit came from. Just going to change the opacity down by pressing T and changing that to 50. Then we can see where everything came from. So what I've done is I've highlighted the main top bar. I've got where your videos go, where the video is, where the description is, where the moderator area is, where your icon is, where About You is. Well, we've got where everything is basically, but remember yours may be laid out differently. So, as I was saying earlier, this is all up to you. Pretty much all of it is up to you, apart from this little sort of example. I'm gonna leave a download link for this in the description. So, let's start off with making a ramped background. If you don't know what that is, I'll show you what it is. We're going to go to Layer, New, Solid, and doesn't matter what color it is. And the aspect ratio of this, just for you interested, just to make your own from scratch, is 2000 width by 3072 pixels, and that's height. And make sure it's square pixels. And OK. And now we're going to make the ramp. So it's Effect, Generate, Ramp. So now you know what the ramp is. The ramp is when it smoothly goes from one color to the other. And we're just going to select our two colors here. I'm going to go for a blue. When you're making a ramp, I wouldn't recommend that you change the two different colors very much. For example, if you were to go from blue to this sort of color, it doesn't work. So you need to keep it in the same sort of hue. So it's more or less the same color, but with a slight difference. We can make this a bit lighter. There we go. Now I'm just going to bring our example on top, so then we can see where everything goes. Let's put a the word subscribe here, because this is where this part is. So we've got a little subscribe. Excuse me. Subscribe. There we go. Let's make that white. Okay. Move that over. We can change its font. Change its font by clicking on the font and use the arrow keys to go up and down. So let's see what we can find. That looks quite nice. You can just scale that, and you can add effects to it, like effect, perspective, drop shadow, and we can just soften that by about 15. That's quite nice. I wouldn't recommend that when you're doing a background you put any key features inside of this area, because it will either stop people from being able to read the text or you won't be able to see it. I especially recommend you didn't put anything within this area, because this is where your video is going to be and you definitely won't see it. And another thing is that don't label things for things that can change. I mean, from here down, everything's going to stay the same. But in this little box here, from here to here, things can change. For example, you don't want to leave these lines in. I'd recommend that you get rid of them, either by masking them. I'll show you what you can do. It's going to show you, because it'd be like, that's going to pre-compose it to show you what it would be like with the image that you'll have. Okay, so your image would be like this. So you want to get rid of these lines, so you can select the pen tool. You can click here. You can move down to here and across. Click here and up here, and we can bring it back to the. Oh, excuse me. We can bring it back like that, and then we can select the example there. Press M. We can change this to subtract. That'll take that bit out for you, just so it doesn't mess things up. Like that. I'll show you why. Because if you go into your channel, then you have all this. But if you click on switch to grid view, then it won't work. It will have lines going through it, and it just wouldn't look nice. So I recommend you leave that bit clear. But that's just to show you where bits go. So we can change some, keep that on some subtract. And you can add in pictures. I'm just going to bring in a simple picture. Hang on a sec, bear with me. Let's bring an easily keyed one. Okay, let's bring in a crow. And in it goes. And this one's already been keyed out because it's a PNG file. If it isn't, and it's got a white background, you can go to Effect, Keying, Color Key, and then you can select the color which is around it. But we don't need to do that. Or you can just mask around it with the same technique which I showed you earlier with this, masking that bit out. So we can just scale this crow down, move it somewhere, and I'm just giving you ideas of where you can put things. You can put things anywhere. So it's pretty much all up to you. Everything is up to you. Alright, so now I've shown you the basics of this. What we can do is we can go to, this is how we save it into a file that YouTube can read. We go to Composition, Save Frame As, File, and then we'll come down to the render queue, and then we need to go to Output Module. We're going to click on this because YouTube can't read Photoshop sequenced files format. So if we click on this, then we go down to JPEG sequence, because that's what YouTube can read. Format options. Because we need to make this file smaller than 256 gigabytes. So if it was 10, it would probably come out as 710 something. So this may vary for you depending on how much detail you've got on your page. So I'm going to bring it down to 5. See how big that file is, and then press OK and OK. And in the output too, we can set where we want to put it. I'm just going to save it on my desktop as YouTube background, YTVG, and yes, and render. Okay, now if we go to where we saved it and we highlight it, and we hold our mouse over it, we can see that it's 174 gigabytes. So that's definitely under the 256 gigabytes. So now what we can do, if we go back into After Effects and go to Composition, and go to Composition, Save Frame As, File, go back down to Module Output, back to JPEG, Format Options, we can bring it up to 6. OK, OK, and save it as YouTube background, save, yes, and render. Because we want to make the quality better, or the best we can. And that's 280, so it's too big, so you might have to stick with 5. So, once again, Composition, Save Frame As File, JPEG Sequence, and back down to 5. OK, OK. YouTube background, save, render. It's all to do. So now we've got our YouTube background, which is 174 gigabytes. Now we're going to go to our YouTube channel. Okay, so when we're on our channel, we go to Themes and Colors. And we're going to start a new theme. And then I'm just going to name it whatever you want. I'm going to call this one Tutorial. And we don't have a background image, so we can delete that. And then choose File. And we're going to go down to our desktop, YouTube background, or wherever we saved it, and open. Let me get our YouTube background which we made. Now you notice that we can't see any of the lines that were there. So what we need to do is we need to set this transparency to 100%. And once you've done that, you do it to the other one. And there we go. Now you need to change the color of some text because you won't be able to read it that easily. So if we go to link color, you can make that white. And this link color, we can make it white. Make sure that we can see everything. So there we go. We can see everything now. And, we can customize a few other colors. This is a bit off because it's from my Monkey King 44 channel. Remember to line up with your channel. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And just save changes obviously. So yeah, that's how to make your own tutorials. And remember, for suggestions, just leave your suggestions on my channel. And don't forget to check out my other channels, Monkey King 44, my vlog, and the extras. And don't forget to subscribe. This is Mr. Adobe Tutorials, signing out.